do it personally. You don't want the latter.
I love that that's what we get to come in on. But hey, everybody, we're back to upping the devil.
We're talking about pudding. Or at least I was.
Do we have live on our end?
It should be going live. So there's always been a delay.
Oh no, I was. I think Sarah meant screen share.
I did mean the screen share.
I am an idiot. I've had everything set up for the last like half an hour, and that's the one thing I didn't do.
It's good. I keep forgetting to do that during like staff meetings and what. We're in the middle of teams and we start, and suddenly someone has to break the silence. Be like, we can't see the screen. Like, damn it.
Yeah, that should be up now, Sarah, if you want to pop on in. There we go. And hopefully this time...
Yeah, no worries. I was sitting there like, there's gonna be like a 5-second delay if like we have to watch the stream.
Oh yeah, they'll be even worse than that, but no. Also, hopefully now for future YouTube uploads, I properly balance the sound on this so you don't have to watch with headphones.
I can go ahead and test that. I'll go ahead and deafen myself. YouTube, just like shoot the shit for a moment because the music's good enough. So I'll deafen, I'll listen to the stream, and I'll get back.
Okay, well then here we are. Oh yeah, I forgot we were in Noble.
Yeah, we're in corporate hellscape.
Yeah, we just got done talking with quality assurance. Okay, let's take a look at our evidence.
I was gonna say, do we have anything to go over? Like, you just pulled up evidence, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see here. So we know we got the poison that can't be identified yet, but has similarities to chemical makeup of a depressant. Okay, definitely forgot that.
Congrats, it's a party drug.
All right, I'm back.
All sound good?
I would say you might need to turn down like game effects, like specifically a smidge. Just turn it down a smidge.
Okay, then I'll do that real quick. It can't give me an option.
Positive thing is that the music is not drowning us because that goes constantly.
2.
So yeah, I would take sound effects and drop them maybe like a little bit, like right there.
Okay. So we're looking up reading list profile. Oh, we got new profiles. Oh, we got one for Sato. Okay. Do medical examiner. Likes accessories. Yeah, I can definitely see that she likes trash TV. Smart, doesn't like social media. Dress codes, obviously. And you only have ebooks in the future. It's a technoscape, man.
No. I understand. No, I understand this. I understand this. Real books.
And I can also get behind hates throwing out like old clothes. The only time I like to do that is if I'm actually donating them to somewhere. Okay, now we gotta get back to evidence.
What's the book box?
I will check that here in a second. Okay, we had the David's Cup tox screen. Test performed by David Asher when he arrived at the hospital. I think it was alcohol was the only item. Okay, yeah. So he was poisoned, but the only thing they could find in tests because they didn't know the test for it was the alcohol. And the book.
Sorry, one last thing to report. Are you far from your mic?
I was leaning back a bit. How's this?
Start talking again.
Okay, well we have the Icaria Rename Hospital, which I vaguely remember that. Yeah, that was renamed for some. Okay.
That was it. You sounded a little far, but now we are good. We are perfectly good.
Hell yeah.
Recognition. Seeing if you have to read anything. Oh yeah, we went over this last time.
Yeah, we looked into the Icardia family and how they were talking about the hospital and getting away from criminal association and whatnot.
Okay.
So just to catch anybody up who didn't see the YouTube VOD due to the technical issues last time, last episode we basically went to the coroner and figured out how David died. There was absolutely something in the drink that he had, and we also got Sarah.
Wow, when did I get in the game? Damn.
We got Sarah. There we go. Registered to Morgan and found out that she's apparently basically the Major from Ghost in the Shell and is worth $1 quadrillion.
Yeah, so we had to get the extended warranty. Maybe if I just stand here and tap my foot extremely loudly, they'll have to let me through.
I think there might be more stuff because it doesn't advance unless you like find everything first.
Okay. Well, I run the risk of damaging my boots.
Aha.
I will say, as someone in aviation, you can tap your foot as long as you want. It ain't gonna go any faster.
Uh-huh.
To think, this is only one room. This complex is so massive that it doesn't even feel man-made. It's like it was carved out of the rock by waves, like it's always been here.
That's the con. If this place was actually natural, there'd be birds everywhere.
I hadn't considered that. Why aren't there birds in here?
Probably because of what they do to the ones that get in. I'm kidding. Though I don't have a better explanation. I think we did read that one last time. I remember that last part.
I think we. This is gonna sound a little stupid, but did you load the right file?
It was the most recent one.
Oh, all right.
So much energy. So many people, all so intent.
You kidding? It's Saturday. The place is half empty.
But doesn't everyone work on Saturdays?
All the parents do, so they don't need to find childcare on Sundays. Everyone else flips a coin, I guess.
All these people for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. What could they all possibly be doing?
Making work for themselves.
You can be very cynical, can't you?
Yeah, I'm terrible. That guy over there's just been jiggling his cursor for the last 20 seconds.
That
Get
guy's
out of my
playing
house.
Galaga.
What was that?
I said, get out of my house.
I was saying like that guy's playing Galaga. Thought he wouldn't notice.
Okay, let's see here. Is there something else I can get? This is my range of movement.
Although I will say, with the past 2 weeks that I've had at work, I've not need to make work for myself. Other people are doing it for me.
They changed the logo again.
Noble Electronics.
How's it feel stepping in here? Is this some kind of religious experience for you?
It's just the corporation where my father worked.
Careful now, or they'll burn you for heresy against the company.
You said it again. The company, as if it's a proper noun. You're mimicking the employees, aren't you?
So it can obey simple orders, but it can't. So it can't obey simple orders, but it can pick up on that.
Is it just part of the corporate culture?
Noble's one of the biggest corporations there is. One of the biggest there's ever been. We mere humans can't hope to escape the gravity of anything that size, no matter where you live or how far off the grid you think you are. So imagine what it's like working for them.
I'd rather not, thanks.
You live in company dorms, work in company quarters. Wherever you go, that logo's above your head. You eat, sleep, and breathe on Noble's timetable at its discretion. When you spend your whole life inside of it, Noble must feel big enough to be the only company there is. Whoever comes to greet us better have a pulse. I think it probably just didn't register to save after this, so I think we might have to just breeze through the point where we do the warranty and everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it didn't register my last save.
Oh, beans.
Good news, everyone. We don't need text, nor do we need voice acting.
We can now just be clever and funny and vamp for ourselves. I was wondering why we didn't have this guy's profile. Listen, I bring you on here because I make you look funnier by comparison.
Hey, I can open a pack. Come on, gimme Sol Galeo.
The only
Damn
issue is I
it!
have to go
I
back
got
through
crumb
and,
pig.
I have to go back and re-examine everything in this room for the sake of chips.
Mm.
Okay.
I believe there was the window.
Oh yeah, we had the horrible explanation of how they actually make warm androids and how that is basically body horror.
Mm-hmm.
David Cronenberg would be so proud.
Mm-hmm.
Do.
So how's everybody's day?
So I had legitimately the first actually restful day in a minute.
Nice.
You go.
I didn't have, aside from this, I didn't have any obligations. I went outside. I went for a walk.
That's cursed.
I touched grass.
And you're
Made
alive?
a fire in the fire pit.
Oh no, that actually sounds lovely.
It was. Man, I had nothing to do. It was great.
I've also spent today just accomplishing nothing. I did laundry. I stared at the ceiling for only 2 minutes this time instead of 20.
No, that's good.
And I caught a nap before the stream, which, God, I needed that because I was feeling a little drowsy.
I understand.
I've kind of bombed my sleep schedule because earlier this week I did a stream where I live co-streamed the link update thing that Bandai's doing to put out special news about the Gundam card game. And I've been really trying to push that on my channel for a little bit, so I had to be there live. Problem was, it was airing at 7 p.m. Japan time, 3 a.m. Pacific. So, and I immediately had to go into work afterward. And I didn't even sleep that night. I basically, like, dozed every, like, 20 or so minutes in my chair till it started.
I feel for you. Ever since, like, you know, I've freed up my time while I'm looking for a new job, my sleep schedule is just so bad because now, like, there's no incentive to, like, not occasionally, like, feel bad about sleeping through an alarm.
I need you to know. Me having to stay up on Tuesday nights for reasons trademarked, I felt miserable the next morning, and my boss was like, "Why didn't you flex your time?" And I was like, "I didn't know I could."
Oh, I feel so bad for you.
So, Sako, the TLDR of what I can legally share is that we were playing Helldivers and I got a call. A work-related call in the middle of doing a run.
Oh, no.
TLDR, there was an accident on the ramp. A maintenance worker in his truck backed into a tug.
Oh, no.
And my boss forgot to turn off the call forwarding to my work phone.
Oh, no.
So even though he'd returned from vacation, I was the person who had to take it.
Literal, I ain't even supposed to be here today.
Yes.
Oh.
I mean, granted, yes, that is part of the job description, but like, again, when my boss is the one on duty, he's supposed to be the one to take those calls.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what ended up happening.
Oh, God. I did go. Additionally, I did go to a baseball game last night.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It was a minor league. The Rainiers, the local Tacoma, Washington team out here, against Sacramento River Cats. We annihilated them.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, it was extra special because of the job rented out a VIP box. So I didn't have to sit out there in the cold, because it's still really cold out here. Like, it gets to the 30s in the morning. So I was able to just sit in the box, watch the game from there. Decent food. Bought some merch that was way more expensive than I expected it to be. Here's the fucked up thing. Japanese baseball jersey. You know, in Japan, when I was at baseball games there. A shirt I bought from a Tokyo Dome. Nice, high quality, button up, similar jersey, player name, like an actual team jersey and whatnot. Costed only about $30. 40 if I added on a little Japanese tax. To get a baseball jersey at this stadium last night was $140.
Oof.
And it's like the material is a little thicker, I guess, but like the stitching of some of like the logos and thing like is terrible. So it's like, oh golly, I missed when things were cheap. That's been the one wake-up call about moving back here, is everything's so goddamn expensive now. And concession stands, absolute ripoff, because a large Dr. Pepper was $8.95.
Ugh.
Oh.
Now, granted, that was on me, because I didn't like all of the food that was available in the VIP box, because it was already prepaid for, but they kept running out of sodas in the little mini fridge. So I figured, fuck it, I'm going to go buy my own. $8.50. Like, golly.
Thanks, I hate it.
Okay, we're just back to where we are, because I remember Sarah getting mad that we thought about changing their name.
And this is where we learned that the androids and whatnot are programmed with tenets, because everyone realized Asimov was full of shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Supreme Court got involved because of the military.
Yeah, the military wanted the androids to shoot, and it's like, okay, we can't program that into everybody.
Almost there. I'm sure it's been a riveting 18 minutes.
All right, we still have another like 120 to fuck it up.
There.
I'm gonna BRB 2 seconds. I'm gonna throw my trash out and get a refill.
All
Go
good.
for it. Excuse me.
Definitely one of those cases of, oh, we're still not there yet? Yeah, I'm fine. I'll be back.
Yeah. I think we just got to where we divulged, so you got time.
Yeah, this is exactly where we were, because we stopped in the middle of a elevator. At least I think that's where this was.
I mean, I think that is, yeah, because the place is supposed to be so huge. Like, I think one of the things they said before, like, we got into the entry place, reception, that was, like, almost triple-digit stories tall. But yeah, I'm waiting for this case. And also, for anyone who actually likes our sense of humor, check out the Blue Sky post for advertising this episode. I had fun writing that. Listen, man, it's not very often I can Higgett joke based off of any man who's his own lawyer has a fool for a client, okay? And I've been sitting on that ever since I watched Find Me Guilty when I was in high school. Which, if you haven't seen it, watch. It's the best Vin Diesel movie ever made. And it's a drama.
Better than. Okay, when you say Vin Diesel movie, do you mean like a Vin Diesel is the lead movie, or a Vin Diesel is in this movie?
Vin Diesel is not only the lead, he is putting on his only actual, like, dramatic performance he's done in his entire career, aside from possibly some moments in Riddick.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it's a movie about the largest American RICO trial in history. Where one of the guys, who was a low-level member of the large crime family that's being put on trial, decided to defend himself. And actually managed to get himself mostly acquitted.
What was the movie called again?
Find Me Guilty. It's also the hardest movie Vin Diesel said he's ever had to make because he had to stop working out and had to start eating unhealthy for it.
Oh yeah, that always has to suck, especially for like the actors who get like the usually like big action roles and whatnot. Like, oh man.
Oh no, like he said, even after he did that, he couldn't put on enough weight, so they had to put on a minor fat prosthetic for him.
Oh.
But yeah.
Wait,
also,
Peter Dinklage is in that?
Yeah, because I believe
Oh wow.
because I believe one of the actual lawyers there that he's acting for was a little person. It's a fantastic movie. If you like Better Call Saul, but you want more of the drama than the comedy, this is the movie for you.
Wait, Bubba, Vin Diesel was in Saving Private Ryan?
I didn't know that.
Was he?
I've never seen Saving Private Ryan. I only just know about the first scene.
Oh, he was. He's apparently some private. That's wacky. Because when I said best movie that Vin Diesel has been in, my initial joke was going to be that, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Still have not seen that one.
Hmm.
I haven't seen most of the stuff post half of the COVID era shows. Like, I think the last thing I watched was Hawkeye.
Apparently the new Thunderbolts that came out is like legit good.
I mean, it has some of the best people from that time I was mentioning. Like, it's got the U.S. Agent guy's actor who's fantastic in the Godzilla show Monarch, where he's one of the leads.
Oh, he was a Monarch too?
Yeah, he plays the younger version of Kurt Russell.
Oh. Oh wait, that's right, because he's Kurt Russell's son. I keep forgetting that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's son? What's his name again? Wyatt Russell, yeah.
Well, yeah, if you need a reason to watch Monarch, at least the first season. I don't know if the second season's been released yet.
I think it's still being worked on.
That's fair. But that's a great... if you like the procedural aspect of kaiju movies, then you're going to love that. It's very in the vein of marrying Godzilla, like the MonsterVerse, and like Shin Godzilla.
Speaking of the MonsterVerse, you hear about the new movie coming out?
I've heard that there's another one coming out. I haven't seen anything about it.
They just announced that it was in production, and the title is Godzilla Kong Supernova. So everyone's trying to think of which space kaiju it's going to be. Everyone's kind of mainly pointing towards Space Godzilla.
It would have to be they killed off Ghidorah.
I'm personally kind of hoping it's Orga.
Fair.
Are we resuming at this point, or?
Yeah, we were just waiting for you.
Got it.
Okay. This is new
With
line.
Dawes, you spoke like he did, it seemed.
Like I copied his accent?
You seemed to mirror his affect, his tone.
It's called being friendly. What's your point?
It was just an observation.
You can choose to keep those to yourself, you know. No tenant required. And then I just thought of something.
Dave?
There.
Oh, there it was. It was the bottom one to the left, middle there.
Oh yeah, because we did it on transition. Oh well. I've learned now to not save on black screens. So I'll save right over the... There we go.
Why were you so concerned about registering me in the first place?
For the same reason I wouldn't drive around in a car without a license plate. Any cop, or even a just well-placed camera, could have spied your barcode and seen that it wasn't set up with any actual data.
And then they would have arrested me. And then they would have thrown me in the slammer.
No, they would have arrested me and put you in an evidence locker.
An android can't get arrested?
Yeah, we're really about to start fucking around with everything Asimov was about. People get arrested. Property gets seized. And then smashed. Great, you put us over the weight limit.
I did no such.
You can take this one.
Morgan,
Psycho.
counselor. Your presence has been requested on the upper floors.
Oh no. Who's asking?
Vice President of Android Futures, Helen Young.
Shouldn't have assumed I still had the opening move. Tell her I'll be right up.
I'll redirect your elevator now.
The idea that they can do that, like, on the fly is horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's automated now, and everything can be controlled.
Taking control of your elevator is very
Convenient?
forceful. As if Noble is trying to directly steer your investigation.
If Noble wanted to shut me down, they wouldn't bother to be subtle.
I suppose they could simply refuse to cooperate.
Or just let the elevator drop.
Oof.
I have so missed playing fucking Evangeline Morgan. I just realized now I get to play my two most pessimistic voices back to back each week. Well, every other week. They're not even that far off of an actual accent. Now that's a silhouette.
I'll be her.
Right. Speaking first is a sign of weakness, is it? And here I thought I could avoid wading into the swamp of corporate pretend power dynamics.
I would say let her stew.
Yeah. We gotta remember Morgan is petty as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds is only awkward if you care. I can ignore social cues all day long. Also, one second, I see something here. Just gotta take a shot. Wait for that to process. There we go.
I did that thing!
Mm-hmm.
Had to stand a homie.
I always liked this kind of day. Fucked up my first line. Damn it!
Not too muggy for you?
I'll never be a voice actor. No, I never liked the clear blue sky. It always seemed cold to me.
You're in luck. The sky gets even more colorful every year.
As the air quality drops? Childish, isn't it? Marveling at the small sheen of rainbow dancing on the surface of a massive oil spill. Apologies for waxing poetic. It's been a very unusual 24 hours around here.
Dr. Young.
Just Miss is fine.
Miss Young, I get the feeling you didn't bring me up here to talk about the weather.
No, I brought you up here to express my condolences. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you, though I could say the same. I know you and David worked together for many years.
Yes, we did. But as much as I'd like to just drop everything and process, the company wheels don't stop spinning for anything. Or anyone. Was Dawes of any help?
She sent him trying to be helpful, or just trying to control the narrative. He was great! But that must mean you know why I'm here.
I don't want to make assumptions.
No need, I'll be explicit. I'm here as an officer of the court, which means I'm bound by law to document every rock I turn over. And every person I speak to.
Yes, the lawyers made that all very clear.
Sirs? Oh no, I think we lost Saris. Are you there, Zako?
I am.
Okay. I just had to check on my connection there at that point. You want to take over for Sarah until Saris gets back?
Sure thing. Lawyers? You have an android. It's not one of ours.
You can tell that
Sorry
quickly.
about that.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh.
You can tell that quickly? Got all the faces memorized?
It's easy enough to remember the major archetypes we use, yes.
If you're nuts about your work, maybe. It's a recent acquisition. Very recent, in fact. One of David's last requests, apparently.
David asked you to take it. I've been told you've been to David's estate already.
The police gave me full access to the scene.
Then you know that he wasn't alone last night.
Yes, there was a single witness who met with him and called emergency services when he fainted.
I was the witness.
Really? Obviously. There aren't many people David would bother meeting with in person, let alone welcoming them into his home and offering them a drink. I also knew that Jung is his superior on paper, if not in fame. And I knew that the witness had executive plan and 3 insurance, so they had to be higher up than David. Well then, do your lawyers know we are having this conversation?
Of course. They're pulling their hair out about it as we speak.
I can't imagine why the police cleared you. And you were well within your right to ask for some privacy given the high-profile nature of all that's happened. So why call me up here? Why cut through all the red tape your lawyers painstakingly hid you behind?
Eventually you, or some clever lawyer like you, would get the record open. Through legal means or otherwise. The company's enemies are legion, and they have a prying knife for every occasion.
Still, that would have taken time. Time you could use to get ahead of what could be the biggest PR hurdle Noble's ever seen.
Touché.
And...
So perhaps the truth of the matter is that I simply didn't want to hide. David was my colleague for several years. If I were in your shoes, I would have questions as well.
You're doing this for my sake.
No, my reasons are purely selfish. I'm only hoping that talking to someone whose job isn't to defend me from all consequences might prove therapeutic.
If she wants to play confessional, that's fine by me. But is that really all that's going on here? Why Why don't you start from the beginning? You went to his home last night.
Yes, at around 7:30 p.m. The building's penumbra captured all that quite clearly.
He fell ill around 8, so you spent half an hour together. Why the late call? In person?
We had an intense discussion yesterday afternoon. David never came in on Saturdays, and I didn't want to spend the weekend glaring at him through screens, so I visited, and he let me in, and we talked.
About?
The good old days, if you can believe that. Back when we were both new to the company, eager to make a name for ourselves.
How long ago was that?
7 or 8 years ago?
Miss Young.
Putting a number on it doesn't sound that long ago, but it feels... We spent a while like that, just talking.
You should really, focus on the fact that you have an incredibly meteoric rise in less than a decade. Especially since fucking David was coming from literally fucking nowhere, and then revolutionized everything.
He was lively and sharp, and I never would have thought that a few minutes later...
That he would be dead?
that he would commit suicide in front of me.
A firm reply. What happened?
A quarter before 8, he said he wanted to toast. He got up, walked back into his workshop, and then he must have went down into his basement to get us a bottle. I checked some messages in the meantime, enjoyed the view.
In other words, she stayed on camera.
He came back with a bottle of whiskey and 2 plastic cups. We drank and talked. He got quieter, spoke less. I thought he was just getting drunk. I didn't get worried until he started to fall asleep.
You tried to wake him.
He wasn't responding. I tried to shake him awake, but he didn't seem... I left him and ran to the kitchen to use the security system.
Didn't think to use your phone?
No. I suppose I didn't. But it worked out. The Penumbra's emergency protocol summoned a VTOL straight to his helipad with 1 button press. When I returned to the parlor, he was limp. I moved him to the floor as delicately as I could. He had a heartbeat, but I just did what I could until they arrived.
You went with them to the hospital, I take it?
Yes, they insisted. They checked my vitals and ran a talk screen, which came back clean.
So did David's, for all the good it did him.
I wasn't paying close attention to what they were saying at that point. But I'm sure they ran through every step of the CCE SOP. That's what they're paid to do.
You seem certain it was suicide.
Yes.
Why?
As I said, he got quieter as the time passed, and he spoke less. But the last thing he said to me, the last clear thing he said, was that he was happy ending it here. Said he was content. He downed his glass after that. He drank every last drop. Does that sound like David Asher to you?
Curious, restless, perfectionist, David? No, I guess it doesn't. Ooh boy, where do you want to start?
I guess we could go top to bottom.
Okay. You said the CCE standard operating procedure a moment ago. What is that?
CCE stands for Counter Corporate Espionage, which is just industry doublespeak for corporate espionage.
Oh, wow. I love that at her level that she is actually thinking more about corporate espionage than, like, the fact that her friend may have just committed suicide in front of her.
It's a cyberpunk future, so I imagine that's like the top thing they want to have someone important knows. Like, deal with the humanity first. Think about the procedure. Only use in self-defense, you understand.
So Noble anticipates employees at your level getting poisoned.
They give us all kinds of CCE training. Subtly, of course, usually disguised on the itinerary as leadership workshops or psychiatric evaluations.
They train you to expect to get murdered at these leadership workshops.
Murder is fairly rare at our level. More likely they'll want us too sick to work. Let us drain company resources in a hospital bed while our position sits vacant.
That's smart. Like snipers purposefully avoiding vital areas to strain the enemy's medical resources.
That's terrible. Like snipers purposely avoiding vital areas in order to strain the enemy's medical resources.
That's nothing compared to what they want to turn an asset. Feel ill for the rest of your life with an undiagnosable malady. Or become our mole and we'll send you the antidote every 2 weeks. Damn!
That's a nasty piece of work.
It's a nasty line of work. Consulting.
I love that they now are just subcontracting out fucking minor level terrorism. I'm sorry.
I mean, corporations are basically countries now, so... That's just what they call it. Can't exactly put corporate spy on your CV. Imagine if you could, though.
I mean, I think there's people that actually probably would, as a flex, just put that on their CV and just be like, do you want to test me? Hire me, or see what I do if you don't hire me. So every consultant I've met at a cocktail party was actually...
It depends. Did they say that they're consultants? Or did they say that they were in consulting?
How the hell am I supposed to remember? So do your people think that what happened to David was a deliberate attack?
Noble's competitors have been trying to get to David for years. And that's the timescale their plans operate on. If this was an attack from a rival corporation, the company would have seen it coming. And they'd probably have struck first.
I've been curious about this ever since I saw the scene. Why the plastic cups?
There's a story there. David and I got hired around the same time, under similar circumstances. Headhunted while finishing our higher education. During recruiting, the company claimed to want us badly, but in practice, our actual authority was...
Inexperienced and overpaid. You must have been extremely unpopular.
You don't mince words.
I like to telegraph that I'm on the spectrum, okay?
We didn't either, back then. Oh, so Bubba even pointing out, like, look at Rockstar Games, for example. They bought an entire island just to avoid certain tax laws.
Jeez, I didn't know that, but... Wow.
Thanks, I hate it.
I mean, how much is, like, a night to stay there? We were loudly trying to convince our superiors that their entire sales model for androids was antiquated and self-defeating.
The two of them made the one-point doctrine. That's not the story I've heard in Noble commercials and the Noble-sponsored media. And come to think of it, it's not a story I've ever heard from David himself.
We had this deadline. Self-imposed, but still a deadline. We wanted to get our pitch to the president of the international sales by end of day. 7 p.m. rolls around and people start filtering out. David still has his head buried in diagrams and sales figures. Imagine a technical man like him, a programmer, trying to make a sales pitch. The clock hits 9 and even the zombies start heading home. I turn to David, tell him that that's not gonna happen. We're nowhere near finished and the day's long since been over. He looked at me like I'm the only other person on a sinking boat and I've just stopped pitching water, and he says...
Who wants to be David?
I was David when he talked in the earlier episodes.
Ah, I forgot.
The president lives on the other side of the globe. We still got all night until his end of day. We wrapped up at 4 in the morning, just us and cleaning staff. Back then, only half of them were ads. He finally sends the message, and I'm ready to collapse. I've got nothing. We stared blankly at his inbox for the next 40 minutes, hoping the harsh light would give us enough energy to work through the next day. And we get a response. It wasn't long, but it showed he was interested. I'd been turned down so many times before then. Ignored and placated, passed up and ghosted, but together, David and I, we had finally gotten a win. So David asks if I've got anything to drink. I've got a bottle of some swill in a cabinet at my desk, but he doesn't want to drink from the bottle. He says he wants to toast. So we sat there at 5:19 in the morning, toasting awful vodka to one another in cups we grabbed from the break room. Toasting our first victory against the corporate beast. Between the lack of sleep and the drinking, the next day at work was hell.
Sounds like a good memory.
Plastic cups and liquor. That was our little ritual. So I didn't think twice when he presented me with my cup. It was ceremony for us.
Okay, I actually really like that story.
Mm-hmm.
As VP of Android Futures, you're David's superior, aren't you?
That's correct.
Didn't you join the company at around the same time?
David was always more interested in his work than he was climbing the ladder. Honestly, big same. He didn't like playing the corporate politics game.
So, was he unpopular around here?
Not unpopular, no. Not the great Dr. David Asher. Misunderstood, perhaps.
How so?
He could be blunt, demanding, some might say. He wasn't trying to be, it's just... Not everyone could work at the same pace as he did, for as long as he did.
Even with the whole company huffing down those inhalers, they couldn't keep up the pace with David. Speaking of which, I don't see any at Young's desk. Maybe it's just not something you leave out in the open at her level. So you would say that his work-life balance was...
Balance implies the two are at odds with one another. We use work-life harmony here at the company.
Fascinating. So he was in
I
harmony.
I simply would perish, and I would simply burn the estate down.
Oh yeah, no, everything here is the bleak future for us, but yeah, no. I love that at least Morgan chafes under it along with us.
No, David always had plenty of suitors, but he was never willing to put the time in. But I'm sure you're more knowledgeable than I am on that subject.
Right.
What do you mean?
had to help him draft a lot of apology notes over the years for misunderstandings and double bookings.
It's scandalous.
Hey man, that guy has that, like, invisible riz.
He has that pathetic dork riz. What?
Well, pathetic dork that's probably also one of the richest men anyone will ever meet. The A16 only entered production this year, correct?
Correct. Pre-order started last holiday, and we began shipping in the first quarter.
I understand that you were instrumental in the success of Warm Androids.
I played my part in supervising the launch, yes.
Weren't you the only one who designs, weren't you the one who designed serotonin, this factor that enables communication between synthetic and organic parts?
I'm surprised you've heard of that. I did lead that project, yes, but that was years ago. At the time, serotonin was little more than a novelty, a dead end. It wasn't until David took the reins on the A16 that we found a use for it.
Took the reins?
He was lead programmer on limb coordination, facial expression, exhaustion parameters. And he designed the synthetic nerves that made all that possible.
David did all that? That's a lot more than just programming. Was he always so gifted in that many fields? Did he fill those roles on the A14s or A15s?
No. He used to stick steadfast to his role as a software architect. That was his field of expertise, and he didn't wander far.
Give me a second here, I had to arrange a few things on my desk real quick. On the fly.
Go for it.
Okay, do. Go there. Okay, we're good.
But 2 or 3 years back, he started sitting in on other departments, taking notes. Soon, he was joining the discussion, proposing new ideas. And eventually, they came to follow his lead.
Just like that.
Just like that.
So he just applied himself, and soon he was leading the other departments?
That's the kind of genius that Dr. David Asher was.
Maybe they weren't paying him enough.
Oh my god, he tried and became worse. The company profited most, of course, but the entire industry benefited from his vision and leadership. His loss will be felt for years.
Yeah, he does seem like a once-in-a-generational genius that, again, no one's gonna copy for at least another 2 generations, probably. Ah, now let's talk about the teal-haired elephant in the room. So this android, Serra. Even Dawes couldn't find any real details on where it came from.
It's not in any of our systems.
I'm afraid not. Did David ever talk to you or anyone else at the company about his pet project?
Pet?
No, he never gave me any indication like that. And if he didn't talk to me about it, I seriously doubt he confided in anyone else at the company. David didn't trust anyone higher on the chain than himself, and anyone below him. Frankly, they couldn't possibly hope to give him advice.
He never mentioned me?
No, never.
Androids don't come cheap. You never heard about him requisitioning parts or resources? There were never any discrepancies with his company credit card.
The company's accountants are mirthless, even by industry standards. They wouldn't humor anybody.
Oh, sorry. Something about their hiring accountants based on how depressing they are.
Not even David Asher. If they had ever detected financial discrepancies, there would have been an uproar loud enough you could hear it in the mailroom.
You have a mailroom?
What does that intrigue her? Oh. Not since the 30s, just his figure of speech. He couldn't even take resources from the company without leaving a record. But no one denied Dr. David Asher information. He would have been able to obtain all the necessary data to build his own android. Then, with enough time and money, he could privately purchase the raw materials himself.
I don't understand it. It must have taken him years to build Serra. He wasn't doing anything illegal. Except the hacking stuff. So why keep it a secret?
I don't know. But he was private and a perfectionist. Perhaps he simply wasn't proud of his results. Damn.
Lady, I'm right here. Could be. Well. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I'm sure this has been a difficult day for you.
A difficult day for all of us.
A message from Fran. Also, I just wish that, like, we could have gotten, like, just, from Serra. Mood. I'm running out of leads to chase. That brat better have good news.
Are you really going to take this to court?
That's my plan! The circumstances may be irregular, but I'm still defending a client from a criminal charge. It's my responsibility to argue that he's not guilty of what he's been accused of.
And is that what you believe? That he didn't commit suicide?
I guess I haven't decided what I believe. Oh, we're just one past the nice number.
Damn it!
We don't get to smoke weed every day, Chad. I'm sorry. Would you kindly slow the hell down?
I'm sorry. Was I walking too quickly for you?
That wasn't walking, that was speed walking. Up two flights of stairs, it's very different.
Speed walking. Sounds like a powerful technique. Is it like the Jin Xiao?
You got it.
Just let me catch my breath for a minute.
Is it possible that you are out of shape? Damn.
No. It's because I'm a chronic smoker.
But since we left the cab, your heart rate has...
I'm not wearing the right clothes. Or the right shoes.
Is that so?
Morgan, I have not seen... Like, I'd have to go back to the actual title screen. But I'm 90% sure you are wearing flats or only have a, like, respectable dress shoe heel. Yes. Also,
Sorry, I just looked up her, like, full character art. She is, in fact, wearing heels.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did not strike me as heels.
I'll put it in, general. Like, they're not, like, high, but they're just high enough to be annoying. Oh, they're boot heels, too. Like, oh, no.
Oh, it's like you said boot heel. My ankle just hurt. Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, those are easy to run in.
Yeah.
No. Those are easy to run in. Those are like comfy shoes.
Okay, so Morgan's just a whiner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, look at the line.
I would have as someone who sprinted down a convention hall in 6-inch stilettos. No, those are comfy boots. Those are runnable boots.
Also just applauding that. That's a feat.
Listen, I had 5 minutes to accomplish what I needed to accomplish, and I needed to run across the convention hall to get there.
Mood. But also, as we established, Morgan is a whiner. Yes. Also, I didn't stretch or hydrate, and the sun's reaching its zenith. Wow. please, 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 let Sarah's only comment be skill issue.
Skill issue.
Uh,
Sounds like a you problem. That would have been several hours ago. Do you mean the air temp?
You said it would be a short walk from street level, so I prepared myself, mentally, for a short walk. Then you took off like a rocket, and you didn't mention we'd be going upstairs. Are you sure this place is even back here?
The reviews online were quite clear. It's worth the trouble finding it.
Bubba saying, fun fact, heels used to be a male status symbol when they were first made.
I believe it.
Oh yeah.
I know that was the fact in the case of corsets.
Huh? I missed what you said. Sorry, what?
I said I do know that's the fact in the case of corsets.
Corsets were not strictly a status symbol. They were support. The whole reason why we even had corsets was that corsets were medieval bras, dude. That's what they were. They were entirely support for the booba. That is why they were made.
Then I was led astray by someone.
You definitely were. Corsets were not for shapewear. They were not for status. They were worn by the common folk as well, and the purpose of them was to keep the tatas from jiggling around when they had to go places. Just like boots. Now this depends on the culture, but in terms of European boots, most European boots were designed to have heels so that they could be they could be assisting the stirrups for horseback riding.
Fair.
A lot of fashion, as a fun aside, a lot of fashion origins come from actual functional purposes. They only became status symbols when opulence was attached to them.
Ah.
Fair. I also just remember something. We have another thing to check. Oh, we got two. I think we read Dawes. I'm just looking back through. Actually, no, we didn't read Dawes. So his likes are hammocks, calligraphy, and pale ale. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Dislikes first dates, conference calls, and 5 o'clock shadow.
Me.
No, fair. Proud of his practice handshake. Okay, you are a corporate stooge. Struggles with solving captchas. And hair starting to gray. Oof. Sorry, my man. Let's go with the much more interesting Dr. Jung. Likes red meat. Oh. Flower gardens. And high thread count. Okay. Working from home, shopping online, and waiting. Huh. Oh, fluent in
My antithesis.
But fluent in 3 languages, enjoys attending baseball games, and hidden talent, getting children to stop crying. Okay, that is actually a proper flex. I would not expect that of her.
Fluent in 3, but I can't tell you which ones.
Or won't tell you because then you might have power over her. Oh, we got a whole lot of stuff here, but this is mostly stuff we pretty much had very well. Okay, I'm just gonna clear these. Okay, nanomanufacturer.
Nanomanufacturer is basically a 3D printer of the future. Chromafuge is the stuff that they put in the androids to turn their blood pink. Sarah's rich as fuck.
Expensive as fuck.
Helen Young's cup.
Corporate espionage. The heartfelt story. The other cup. And all of her testimony. In search terms, oh, we got a bunch of these.
I think that one was from the, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Derogatory term for French people.
Okay, cleared all that.
Tesseract is also important to remember because that's basically the programming code used
Mhm.
to create the androids.
Yeah, I checked that whenever I saw a purple word. I clicked a little slower when getting through stuff earlier. Maybe if you're a mountain climber. When I sent Fran hunting for a musician in David's circles, I expected them to bring me. He's someone from the city orchestra or a jazz club. The champagne flute and teacup kind of musician. But this is the tequila and neon part of town.
Hey, David gets around, or got around rather.
It should be in view when we turn. Be careful.
Up what?
It's a stray, and it's bearing fangs too. It could be carrying diseases. You should.
Relax.
It's growling.
It's not growling at me. See?
So it's just me it doesn't like.
Too much static.
How'd you get it to calm down?
It's an animal, not a monster. It wants to be calm.
Do you like animals?
What kind of cold-blooded freak doesn't like animals?
Do you have a pet?
No, never have.
I just love
Why not?
Morgan's brain. I just love Morgan's brain being like, it is absolutely abominable to dislike animals in any way. Just shot a guy 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think it's really important that everyone likes animals. I don't have a pet.
Never have, never will.
I'm sorry. That's us.
Because I don't want to take care of a pet.
That seems counterintuitive to me.
See? That's what I'm saying. Sus.
Well, it makes perfect sense to me, and I don't need it to make sense to you.
But
You notice you're only this talkative when it's just the two of us?
Mm.
Just an observation.
Damn.
Like I said earlier, and I will reiterate, Morgan is petty as fucking, which is why I love her. You shy or something? Did David program you to have android anxiety? If so, that's the cruelest thing it could ever do, and I'm sorry.
That's the first crime against humanity David has committed in this game.
it's generally only appropriate to respond to comments that are addressed to oneself. Today, I've rarely been addressed directly by people, other than you.
In other words, you're shy.
That's not what I...
Hmm.
Can I try petting it?
There's
Same.
no There's no. I also want to believe that wasn't actually a big dog. It was just a Chihuahua.
I mean,
Well, actually, no. Chihuahuas will bite your nails off. Be afraid of them.
you see my point.
Yeah.
It's probably a pity.
Yeah.
Don't wear sandals with chihuahuas. Don't get those toes.
Yeah. But also, it's the fact that remember she can bench press most cars and fight riot suppression like Ed 209s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, clever name.
This is the establishment.
Now to see if Isaac Porter is as habitual as Fran claims.
Do you think Father was close to this man? This man who you've never met?
Well, yes, I've seen the fan art, so I'm pretty sure. Listen, the artist may have been like, I'm so happy that episode 1 came out because I've had these two characters rent-free in my head for so long, it can only show the doodles to the actual, writer. I think he was close with him, yeah. At some point. I had some help making that deduction. Fran saw their metadata showed a significant cooling of interaction between the two of them, particularly over the past month. But Fran also saw a phone call between the two last night.
They were close. Do you think we were sleeping together? Bold.
That is completely inappropriate for me or anyone to speculate about.
You know what? I'll give her that one. She's right. She's right.
Inappropriate?
I'm trying to think if it's fully inappropriate for her as a legal representative.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's only
I'm getting a very important text message from my private investigator. Excuse me.
What a mood.
Did you catch the killer yet?
Now.
What the hell? I sent you his position.
I'm at his position. I haven't spoken to Porter yet. Anyway, there's no reason to suspect him right now.
Lame.
Surprised you're invested all of a sudden. Isn't David Asher a corporate sellout in your eyes?
Everyone's a corporate sellout. But Asher gets respect. If I'm a demolitions expert, he's like a really good architect.
That's almost sweet. I think.
Asher started out working in Cube. So in the architect analogy, by today's standards, he's like, I don't know. As a kid, he built all his bricks by hand. Or something.
You know that lit homework can help you with forming analogies.
Eat this analogy. Did I come through, or did the characters break? It's supposed to be a guy giving you the finger.
I like to think that quote unquote brat is using those Japanese style emoticons.
Oh yeah.
The ones that use kana instead of Latin pronunciation.
Mm-hmm.
I take
Or punctuation, wrong word. I'm sorry, I'm tired.
You're fine. You earned your rest. I take it Cube's a programming language. What's special about it?
Pretty much anything coded in the last 20 years is web-based. You code with the assumption that you'll always be connected. So you can depend on having fat libraries of references to lean on. And if something does go wrong, your errors get reported to you automatically.
But not Cube.
You can look up. But basically, Cube was originally for robotics and, machinery. Stuff that had to operate in mines. Under the ocean. Middle of nowhere fields with zero signal service. So Cube had to be self-sufficient.
How rugged.
Where did Asher learn Cube anyway? It's older than dirt. It's from the 40s.
I don't know. I think his father had a machine shop or something.
Vague.
Yeah, well, David didn't like to talk about his family. And I never asked.
What did your private investigator have to say?
Not telling.
Boo.
I love how much more energy you bring to Sarah. In, the off bits.
Listen, it just feels correct.
Oh, trust me, again. I love it because it does feel correct. The stage for the talent. Pretty close to the floor. Guess it fits the whole round table aspect of this place. Everyone's on more or less equal footing, dancing in the dark, once you get past the bouncer.
You think they might have met here?
David and Porter? I can't see David walking in here.
Because you found the walk so challenging?
Because it's too loud to relax.
Skill issue.
And not dark enough to be anonymous.
I see.
What's that face? You got an opinion to share?
The atmosphere is not bad in here, but the music isn't quite.
I'll find you a survey to fill out before we leave. What kind of music does an android even like?
Like 21st century punk rock. I love her!
Yes!
I love her!
I was imagining her being like, have you ever heard of the real Mackenzies or the dead Kennedys?
Oh, she.
Oh, I don't know.
absolutely
I just like this cool little Canadian band called Green Day.
Remember when we used
Have
to
you ever heard of them? Wait, you don't know what Canada is, do you?
Well, no, it's even better. There used to be a thing called America, and you could be an idiot in it. Ugh. Is that just you, or does that go for all androids?
I haven't met all androids, so I can't speak for them.
Wonder what they'd say.
If they're smart, they'd say that music peaked with the early 21st century punk rock.
Debate settled. Oh,
So much. I love them so much.
I think I might just make the write it down in general, Zako. Possible episode title: Have you heard about Green Day?
You were not today.
I wish the detection was a little bit better on some of these spots. Okay, that's him.
Nope,
so
not
wait.
him yet.
Yeah. Because look, I'm pointing down here, and there's something right here, but I'm getting
I
appraised.
think if you get rid of whatever's the appraise first, it'll open up.
We'll see. The bar, stocked full of colorful selection and a busy bartender. Hope this isn't the kind of club where you can order food. Only time bar food is any good is when you're drunk enough to forget the taste in the gap between chewing and swallowing. So you can, like, eat things.
Yes, I can.
I love her proud of herself sprite so much.
Yeah.
What, like, android food?
There is no such product.
So what do androids eat?
Online user guides. Sorry, I totally broke character there for a second. Online user guides for Noble's warm models clarify that they don't eat anything in the traditional sense. They get their energy from electrical charging, usually wireless. Whenever they need to eat, it's to replenish specific vitamins and electrolytes.
Sounds a lot
I need to pause for a second. I'm so sorry. The way that I read the line first was that I thought she was saying that they ate user guides, which is why I broke character for a second and I had to reread it.
Yeah, no, I thought that's what it said too.
Yeah.
Do you have a
I was
phone book I
like,
could eat?
I need to get this out of my system so I can read it in one single cold take, but holy shit.
Listen, I love long form DIYs from YouTube, okay?
Listen, my favorite. Listen. My favorite kind of food is 100% a tech manual. It's chunky. It's needlessly wordy. It's rigid. It's got good structure to it.
And if you parse it out just enough, it can get you through a whole week.
100%. And hey, if you're feeling like you need a snack, you can only take a paragraph, and you'll still feel fully recharged.
And
Roba put perfectly sports drinks and energy bars, so she's just on a keto diet.
Fucking great.
The one more thing for eating the manual. And meal prep's only as long as it takes to print.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Sounds a lot like what mod users go through with their sports drinks and energy bars.
Eh.
And charger separation anxiety.
According to the net, warm androids can ingest nutrient-rich processed carbohydrate pellets. This really is granola bars. Jesus fucking Christ. According to the net, warm androids can ingest nutrient-rich processed carbohydrate pellets if they are forced to, if they need to forego electrical charging long term.
Processed pellets? You mean like kibble, like dog food?
It's fucking granola bars and energy drinks. I'm fucking crying.
I can tell.
No,
Oh, no!
it's not like dog food at all.
Bubba in chat, Scooby Snacks.
Sarah Snacks. They're Serra Snacks.
Oh man, now we need to like Photoshop on like the pup named Scooby-Doo Scooby Snack box. Just put Sarah's face on it.
I'm on it. Hold on, I'm on it. Give me a minute.
Oh,
Hold on, I'm on it. Give me a minute.
I love you. Oh. Can you buy it from the pet store? Oh
Seems that you can.
man, Sarah's not beating the pet the pet analogy anytime soon.
Gotta find the right face.
How is this something you have to look up anyway?
Because I've always just eaten whatever father gave me.
Like what?
Marble beef. Never hydroponic avocados.
Foie gras.
Foie gras.
Foie gras?
Foie gras.
Ah, thanks. That sort of thing.
I'm not paying for any of that. And for reference, foie gras is literally just meat paste that the French use and they overcharge for.
Oh, understood.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, all that sounded like the richest food that Morgan could never afford.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh.
I know, I'm trying to find the... There, okay, the sweet spot is right. There it is.
A lamp.
Oh no, it's the tablet, okay. What kind of reading material gets left out in a club? A tabloid interview? Here you go, Zako.
Exclusive sit down with luxury. You've heard her name on everyone's lips. You've seen her face in magazines, commercials, and then double check to make sure the photos weren't labeled as edited. Now, get all your burning questions about her answered here in our exclusive interview with the mysterious young woman who's being called, and perhaps the only truly unanimous vote the net's ever seen, the most beautiful woman in the world. Why the name? People think it's an ego thing, but it was just a random username I picked back when I was in Grassroots. Then it was a pseudonym to give me a little shade from all the attention. Now it's a brand, and I can't change it without setting the stock market into a spin, so... You're certainly influential. After partnering with you, Inti saw 3,000% increase in share price.
That's what I'm pointing out.
Yay,
This is basically just an interview with Mr. Beast at this point, when they're talking about branding.
Yeah. Yay, I'm happy for them, of course. But to be honest, it's a pain at the times like this. She gestures towards her clothes, a plain white t-shirt and gym shorts with no branding visible. On anyone else, it might seem sloppy or even unflattering. On her, it only makes her natural beauty stand out that much more.
I need
Who
to
are you
really-
wearing?
I'm so sorry to interject. I really quickly have to point out that there is one difficulty. I will persevere. There's one difficulty in getting you your Serra Snacks, and that is I forgot that these things were real. Were actual treats that were made and have gone through several iterations over the years. So I'm trying to find the one that's not a real box of cookies.
If we can just look up Scooby Snacks cartoon, then that might isolate it.
You'd be surprised, Sako, because I'm already there.
Oh.
I will persevere. Please continue.
Can't wear anyone unless I'm attending something. If I don't dress like this, all my sponsors fall into bidding wars every time I leave the house. Does it stress you, all that attention? Stress is bad for your skin, right? They say mine's flawless. Can't argue with that. So do you have skincare routine? Any tips you'd like to share? Be a little bratty, act a little spoiled, keeps you young. How old are you exactly? Everyone's dying to know. 18 to 29, now and forever. Don't get stuck on a cliffhanger like that. Hurry, log in below so you can read the rest. Quickly, time is running out.
Okay, Zako, this is just for you and El Robot. She literally just said she's the demo god.
Yeah.
Well, however old she is or isn't, Luxury's got one hell of a mind for business. It might do her more good than that face in the end. Maybe it's one hell of a face. In the meantime, she's...
I would say powerful because, as she said, like, she walks out of the street with someone's name closed, companies start bidding wars over her.
Fair, fair. Though it all seems powerless because, again, she basically has said that she cannot actually, like, she has to, like, wear was basically just unmarked fashion at all times if she leaves the house or if she's being on camera. It's very much so, it's basically like saying, for me, I would think Morgan would think she's powerless, but that's because Morgan operates in the shadows most of the time.
But I would also say while Morgan would think she's powerless, I think Morgan would value that she's more powerful because she's pessimistic and recognizes, yeah, the corporations own everything, but so whoever can make the corporations bend the knee may be a little stronger.
Fair enough, you've argued a good case.
Hey!
Some rises are too meteoric for even the Megs to grab the reins on. At this point, Luxury's got them at their mercy. She can send their stocks into disarray with one selfie. Good for her.
Exactly.
Okay, we found everything, so who wants to bid on our boy Porter?
I was pretty heavy in the first half.
Okay, yeah, that's him. Yep, I can take him.
Alrighty.
Yep, I can take him.
Looks like he's killing time before his set tonight.
Are you unsure how to proceed?
I'm sure that you need to hang back. As for me, I'll leave it up to you, Zako. You have a better feel for this.
I think Morgan would try to, like, just no bullshit, just go straight for cool, because this guy doesn't look like he plays games.
Okay, so play it cool?
Play it straight.
Okay. Isaac Porter?
What's up?
My name's Morgan. I'm David's friend. Right now, I'm his lawyer. Can we talk?
Depends. Were you a friend from work?
No.
Over here.
Thanks, Isaac.
Don't thank me yet. I might just sit here, shut my mouth, and stick you with my tab. So what kind of lawyer are you? What kind of friend?
I'm his defense attorney.
Think you missed the bus on that then, yeah?
And I'm a friend that needs to know what happened yesterday.
Doesn't everyone? Try somewhere else, friendly lawyer. I haven't seen him in weeks.
You might not have seen him, but we both know that you spoke with him over the phone yesterday. Only a short time before he died.
How the hell?
Isaac? It's pretty obvious you don't want this particular spotlight to linger on you any longer than necessary, so why don't we cut to the chase? No lies, no playing coy.
Fine.
Sarah?
Yes.
The hell? Is that thing transmitting?
I am not streaming any data, no.
Porter doesn't seem to recognize Sarah either. One more person David was keeping secrets from. I need to record everything for court.
Fine.
You two were together, is that correct?
We were together. I ended it. Yesterday.
Care to elaborate?
On our entire relationship?
Look, you can tell me everything once, and I can get it on the record. Or you can hear the same questions over and over again from 1,000 different cops and Megs for the next 3 months.
We met in a bar. I had seen him come in a few times, each time with someone else. Each time talking with his mouth, but not looking with his eyes. It ticked me off. Scribbling on napkins and letting his single gin and tonic sweat into the table for 2 hours. His dates would all go to the bathroom or take a call and slip out the back. One of them didn't make it 10 minutes. And he'd sit there the rest of the night, unfazed. Couldn't tell if he was oblivious or stupid or shameless or the most confident man in the world. And he ticked me off. One night, things were slow and my set had been canceled and his date hadn't even bothered to think of an excuse before bailing, so I asked him why he'd insisted on coming there night after night. Just to ignore vapid people he wasn't interested in at a shitty bar with drinks he didn't like. And he just said, because I like your music. Man, did that tick me off. It was cute early on. Him being so passionate about work I could barely pretend to understand. And I liked that we gave each other space, you know? Felt like we were being mature or whatever.
Until.
There was no until. No one day where everything turned sour. But at some point I started to understand where his priorities were. And how I ranked in them. Like I said, he was passionate about his work. I just wrongly assumed that he would also be that passionate about me at some point. So I pulled away a little, wanted to see if he'd notice, if he'd miss me. Testing him, like that isn't the biggest red flag in the world. He never budged. I could ignore him for days and he wouldn't be the least bit ashamed to see me. If I picked a fight, he'd never get angry or upset. He'd just apologize. He didn't want to fight with me. Guess he was never invested enough to bother. It was my mistake. I watched him sit there all those nights giving a shit when people walked away, and I had this stupid idea that somehow, for whatever reason, I would be different. That I would be special. But I wasn't, so I ended it.
Last night.
I called him. Didn't expect he'd pick up. I had everything prepared to leave a message with an assistant or ad or whatever. But he answered, first ring. Without hesitation, shame, or awkwardness. And that ticked me off. So I told him exactly how valued he made me feel the past few months. Chicago starts blaring in the background. I told him exactly how insignificant I felt as the boyfriend of the illustrious Dr. David Asher.
And what did he say?
He apologized. And then he asked me if that was all I called to tell him.
Oof.
Woof.
I hung up after that. Spent the rest of the night wrapped in warm disdain for him and his coldness. He made that easy for me. I went to sleep hurt, but clean, ready for something new. And then this morning I wake up to see that I'm My ex killed himself not 2 hours after he let me walk out of his life without so much as a don't. What the hell, man?
Listen, your relationship doesn't seem super healthy, but also I feel like you guys should have probably gone to a counselor.
What the hell, David? And now, you're just the tip of an iceberg of lawyers and reporters and buzzards. Parasites who want to hear about the man who sent David Asher over the edge. I never wanted to be his last lifeline or the straw that broke his back. I just wanted to be his goddamn boyfriend. Turns out that was asking for too much.
It's yet to be determined whether David committed suicide.
You serious?
You don't have all the facts.
And you do? Any one of them point to anything else? Thought so.
Thanks for your time. I'll let you get back to it.
That's it? No summons?
The court has no need for you to retell a sad story like that.
The court, huh?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Sorry to bother you at work. Sarah, let's go.
Your discography. I can say the word, I promise. Your discography is very impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
And your range is remarkable. So it pained me to see that all your works in the last quarter have been so melancholy. I think...
Well, what the hell would you know about any of that? What's the matter? Can't find the words? Need to steal them from somewhere first, butcher them before shitting them back out?
I was not trained on any data sets that...
Nah, pardon me. My mistake, really. Not your fault you're only standing there because rich prick nerds were allowed to rob the world blind for most of the century. Damn.
Sarah, we're leaving. What the hell was that about?
He was under the false impression that I was programmed using a massive automated learning model in early 21st century.
Not that. Why'd you talk to him?
I wanted to. I just felt that I should say something to him.
A word of advice. People don't want comfort from strangers, especially when they're androids. They want it from the people they want it from. Coming from anywhere else is just... corn syrup on a parched tongue. Doesn't matter how sweet it is, they'll just start gagging.
You know a lot about people, don't you?
Compared to you, I'm a goddamn savant. Come on, there's not much time left.
Is there still somewhere you want to investigate?
Somewhere I need to return to, actually. Porter was right. As things stand, I don't have any evidence that could establish an alternative interpretation of the facts. But if there did exist hard evidence that could prove his death wasn't a suicide, there's only one place I could find it at this point.
So I'm gonna pause here and tell you to look in static.
Oh.
I saw that.
Okay, give me a second here. I'm gonna copy this and I'll put it in chat, and I'll also put a link to it in the episode description.
Here, I got it.
Okay. Yeah, you're mod. You should have the power.
I just knew that you were so focused on the stream and for good reason to not look, and I was like, alright, we have a break. I need you to look.
Also, I want to say, just full applause. You did an awesome job as Porter.
Thanks.
Okay, getting things back to where they need to be. Okay. Palacia. Oh. Okay, we're back here.
El Robot, who's to say? Who's to say which came first, the chicken or the egg?
The basement.
And also to answer you, David Asher.
It's true.
You sure you don't want another look at the crime scene?
I'm all out of time. Gotta approach this from the other angle.
The other angle.
You know, inductive versus deductive, flip the chessboard and all that. Haven't you ever read a mystery novel? Why am I asking that when obviously you would not have?
I've seen mystery films.
Okay, touche. Well, let's see if you paid attention then. What killed David Asher? Also, I want your opinion on the most recent version of Murder on the Orient Express, and I will have very judgmental opinions about how you feel.
Okay, that's not fair because I haven't seen it.
So they did that, and what's the follow-up sequel to that movie?
It was Murder on the Orient Express, and then it was Murder on the Nile.
I've seen Murder on the Nile actually because it was a movie night during the COVID era with me, Zako, and a bunch of other people, and so that was my first introduction to Perot.
And the third one was I forget the name of it, but it was in Italy.
Okay, I wonder if they actually got around to making that movie for that one too.
There was 3 movies. It was Orient Express, Murder on the Nile, and then the one in Italy. I can't remember the name.
That's fine. Now I just know I have like a watch list now for while I actually have time. 10 points.
There's a point system.
Now, how did the poison get into his bloodstream?
He must have ingested it orally.
And how do we know that?
The medical examiner found no injection marks or wounds.
And if he had inhaled it?
Inhaled it? What?
Leave the wise to someone who actually understands them.
Oof.
I won't be able to understand anything if I don't practice.
Practice by answering my questions.
I suppose it's possible.
Listen, okay? You've watched mystery films. I'm going to hope that you've watched at least one Sherlock Holmes. I'm making you my Watson.
But highly unlikely. We found a delivery system for it in the building, like an inhaler.
Right, an airborne poison is either shoved in your face or sprayed over a wide area. And no one around David has shown any kind of symptoms. So all we have left is an oral intake.
Eliminating the impossible. What's next?
I love that you can tell whenever she's fully excited, she gets the eye gleam. And again, it's one of those big points that's just like, oh, I love you. Young corroborated statement was David didn't exhibit any irregular symptoms or behavior until he started drinking that night. And the police didn't find anything unusual in any of the food or drink in his home. Oh, I think I just realized something. The drug might not have been something that actually activated, like when it was ingested. It might have been something to activate upon reagency with something else in his system.
I've seen this NCIS episode.
Yeah. If they go that way, I'll be super happy because at least then I'll feel like, oh man, I'm smart. But if not, I want them to like blow me out of the water and be like, okay, yeah, full Columbo me, boss.
Except for his cup, the results were inconclusive.
Young was drinking from the same bottle and the same type of cup, but didn't get sick. We had to conclude then that David's cup alone was poisoned.
That all seems logical. And consistent with the police's theory of suicide.
I thought it was smart, but then I've made myself sad.
So why are we down here?
Minus 10 points.
Back to 0?
David left the parlor and came back with whiskey and 2 cups. Jung told us as much, and apparently the cameras upstairs support her story.
So we have to conclude then that he got them both from his bar?
Better, 5 points.
Hmm.
He also get the poison from the cabinet.
The police have been in here since we left. According to their ARCS file, they didn't find anything that matches that poison down here.
So the poison somehow went straight into his drinking cup then. I need to flip this around again.
But if you turn something 360 degrees, you're just back to...
If I were the prosecution, what would I want more than anything? Proof that David knowingly added the poison himself.
You wouldn't do that.
And you can make that claim because there's no video evidence to contradict you. How long was David off camera?
From 7:36 p.m. to 7:40 p.m. when he left the parlor to get liquor from his bar.
So if we had David on camera for those 4 minutes and he didn't poison himself in that time...
He would have a perfect alibi for the crime.
I'm sorry, but the fact that the time was he was gone was from 7:36 to 7:40. I immediately got flashbacks to that one like morning routine meme that was going around on Twitter a few weeks ago of the one guy like obsessively drinking like Saratoga water, doing push-ups and running and everything. And there's this moment where he takes a dive into a pool, and the time of when he's doing all this is all in the center of the screen. And when he goes for the dive, it's 7:36, and then midway through the dive, it suddenly shifts to 7:40. So everyone's been making the meme that he just froze there for 4 minutes before immediately getting out of the pool.
Now see, your brain goes there. My brain goes to what I think is possibly something they did to set up the first case in this scene. And something super Japanese that I only know because of fucking Ultimate Muscle. And that is that the Japanese number for death is 4. He was gone 4 minutes and died 4 minutes later.
Clearly, we are not the same person and have different priorities.
But we don't have footage of that. There are no security cameras down here.
I think there are. And before you read that
What do you mean?
Sorry, I was just going to say I need to use the bathroom real quick. I thought I was going to have a better out.
No
for it.
worries. This game has no breakpoints.
Yeah, I was about to say, if either of you need to get a snack or water or whatever, you can do that because it'll only take me a second to use the restroom, so go right ahead, have this nice break.
I'm just eating Reese's.
Your stream now, Zako.
Just as well, I haven't been able to stream by myself for the whole week. Which should hopefully change. Work is slowing down. The weather is actually staying consistent, so I'm not getting sick. And I'm getting a refill in my medicine, so I should be able to take it more freely now.
I return.
Welcome back. Saris also had to step aside.
All good. Also, I see El Robot's back to his usual thing of throwing glizzies at people.
No,
Now
that's just a regular hot dog.
Nah, sorry, I'm just imagining now, like, El Robot's avatar on the Woe Be Unto Ye, and it's just Woe Glizzy Be Unto Ye. But yeah, no, this has been a great episode. I really am enjoying this game.
Mhm.
Also, I feel so bad for Porter, but also feel like he brought his own stuff into that relationship, and if they had just had time to really talk things out, they might have saved that.
Mhm.
But they were definitely two people with two different priorities. I also love that because of the way that Sarah tried to comfort him after that whole exchange means that he's also his entire thing is just 20th century inspired actual punk rock, and so he's a vintage artist.
Yeah, the artist getting angry at the robot powered AI after what's currently going on in the current AI market is very much like, yeah, that's honestly a reasonable response.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, we got everyone back. If you're good, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, here we go. This whole building is coded head to toe in penumbra security systems, courtesy of Noble. Every console, every corner, every android on every floor, it's all plugged into penumbra. Except that.
That panel is.
Manufactured by Cotter Security Systems. Why would David put a console for a different security system in exactly one corner of his penthouse?
I've never given it much thought.
Part of me wanted just to have Morgan just go, -5 points. Well, it's been bothering me all day. My curiosity alone can't scale a 64-digit wall.
You mean
Signal hijacking, or whatever you want to call it. Have you tried it before?
It is illegal and unnecessary. Father would not. He would not have installed hidden cameras in his own home.
At the end of the day, I can't make you do anything. Well, actually, I probably can now that you're registered to me. But aren't you the one who wanted to prove his innocence? So, you're going to need to understand here. This is the first point I'm going to emotionally manipulate you. It'll not be the last. It's kind of my MO.
Eliminate the impossible. I will need your express verbal command.
Not like David can press charges against us at this point. Do it. Did you really need me to say that?
For the purposes of record keeping? Yes.
If you...
I've gotten past the 64-digit code, and I have found cameras. There are a number of them embedded in the room's walls and ceiling. As you theorize, they are on a separate network from the rest of the building.
Where are they feeding to, if not the penumbra system?
Behind my hibernation unit.
A false wall in the back of a safe.
I don't understand. Why would Father possibly have a hidden system of cameras inside his home?
Beats me. He was brilliant and more than a little odd. Throw in a little money and odd becomes eccentric.
I see. I think?
I don't. The hell was he thinking? What was he afraid of? Why didn't he come to me for... Oh, he might have actually clocked that I'm a serial killer. Time short, gather the facts now and leave the computations for later. There it is. Oh no, I got the picture. I got this again. So this is that original.
Oh no, this is different now that
Okay.
Sarah's actually here.
Okay, so this is the original?
It was appraised and confirmed to be genuine.
At least he didn't get ripped off. I'm a Philistine when it comes to this kind of stuff. What does an android see?
I see a meeting. Or perhaps an encounter? Two apex forces of nature, two kings of the forest, a stag and a tiger. I think.
Great. I'm officially less cultured than the robot.
Par for the course for Morgan, really.
Also, sorry, I just gotta do something real quick here.
Excuse me.
What did David even do with all this equipment? Dry his laundry? And now wait for that to process before it interrupts?
Hooray! I did the thing!
There we go.
So what makes you so sure he wasn't exercising?
Did you ever see him use any of this crap?
No, but he must have used weights when I wasn't looking. Since he promised me that he'd take better care of his health.
Sarah, these weights are all maxed out. David couldn't have put up numbers like these even if he was piloting a frame.
Don't be so sure.
Pardon.
The following is a true story based on primary sources who were present for the event and its aftermath.
Oh, so we're going full paralegal, okay.
Copenhagen, 1981, 8:10 a.m., local time.
What? We have just gone back over 100 years. Okay, let's see how this goes.
A towering man with the musculature of a world-class professional rugby player enters the global Danke Bank on Frederiksberg Lane. He explains to the bank teller that he has a bomb in his suitcase and that he wants his gym bag filled with unmarked bills. A security guard approaches him from behind with a nightstick and swings. But the man simply catches the weapon and bends it into a twisted knot with his massive dinner plate-sized hands. When asked to describe the suspect to the police afterwards, the teller had only this to say: "That man was all muscle." The rest of the bank heist proceeds without incident as the man exits the building just as the police arrive on the scene, when suddenly, his suitcase explodes. But it's just a smokescreen. Local officers quickly recognize the ploy and rush towards the door, grabbing each of the hostages as they flee while desperately searching for the perpetrator. What they find instead is a diminutive, frail, sheepish young man, barely 160 centimeters tall, holding a gym bag full of money, with no recollection of how he got there. Renowned psychologist and trained hypnotist, Dr. Werner Kurtzer, wrote the following in his diagnosis: acute dissociative identity disorder. That's right, the man had a split personality. And so great was the disparity between his two halves that when they switched control, he physically changed, becoming taller, bulkier, and capable of previously unthinkable feats of strength. I hate it here. So be careful what you say when a man like Father can't do, just because how he looks on the outside.
Sarah, every single word you just said was false.
Huh?
Don't believe everything you read on the net.
Good.
I love it.
Sarah feels naive enough to fall for copy pastas.
Yeah, they also had no reason to actually look up the proper disorder and educate themselves.
Yeah.
I also just love that Morgan's like, okay, I need to fix you. The liquor cabinet this mystery hinges on. The police have been through it all by now, and they didn't find foreign contents in any of the spirits. No poison to be found here. Well, not that kind of poison anyway. In which case, can I make you anything?
Well, if you're offering, I'll have...
I love the little drool thing they gave her. Sorry, you're way underage. Aren't you 2 years old or whatever?
Technically.
Took that one a lot worse than I expected. Cheer up. Maybe you'll find a mocktail if you climb to the top of the ladder.
This is a rolling ladder. A kind of step ladder. Not a ladder.
I see what you're fucking doing, and I want to shake you like a... So badly, Sarah!
The longest running joke of Ace Attorney. Kicking down the door, baby.
At least it's not a Danganronpa joke. I'll take my wins where I can get them, even if they're small. What?
Remember, a ladder extends, but a step ladder folds out.
And?
It's important to know the distinction.
I bet my life savings that this subject will never come up again. Ever.
Famous last words.
Yeah, now I actually want it to come back up again. They wrapped it back around to make the cynic in me actually want the pain. Okay, there should be nothing else here. Yeah, it looks like okay.
Congratulations, you've unlocked masochism.
Now I just need to find where the actual trigger for the last one is. Okay, so it's there. Oh, advance.
Oh, no. Remember, advanced is only if you, like, skip something. Try the very far left. Oh, the crack in the floor.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the story with this anyway? Some kind of fault in the foundation?
I don't know. I've never noticed the crack before.
Might want to get those eyes checked.
There's nothing wrong with my vision. This crack just must have been created during my most recent hibernation.
How? Did David drop a weight a bunch of times over and over again in the same spot? Alright, let's refocus here. Sorry, my ADD got out of hand. So there's some kind of hidden door behind your bunk bed here, huh?
Essentially, though a bunk bed would imply a second or third.
How do we open it?
One moment. I see.
Got it open already?
I cannot open this door.
Why?
It's a Tethys Basics Sturdicure.
That anti-hack feature in the name is real.
It's a closed system.
The hell am I supposed to do now?
Strange. If there was an if-then toggle enabled in the security parameters.
I don't follow.
When Father last adjusted the settings here, he made it so that the door would never open so long as I was hibernating.
And he made it so I was the only one who could wake her up. Meaning this door is one that only I can open.
It'll be a 6-character password, some combination of numbers or letters. Did you and Father have any influential moments in your life that revolved around a 6-letter word?
Nothing comes to mind for Morgan, but I think of one, but I'm now counting in my head. No, that's 7.
I got one.
Oh, please tell me.
Lawyer.
If it's that, I'm going to be so mad. My brain immediately went to college because that's where they met, but that's 7.
Lawyer.
Is there
Just a lawyer.
Is there a code word?
I'm probably very wrong, legitimately, but that was the first word that came to mind.
Oh no, El Robot just beat us both. Morgan.
Morgan. Yeah, it is 6 letters. You're right.
Is there a code word that he knew only I could learn?
Yeah, he had to type it in manually.
Yeah, Zako, at this point, do you know?
Try all robots.
Okay.
M-O-R-G. Was that your name you just tried?
It's 6 characters, isn't it?
Yes, but it's not exactly secure.
Oh, I fucking hate you. Not you.
Anyone who knew you and Father were close could have tried guessing it. Was there some word that only the two of you knew? A nickname?
Pretty much everyone calls me Morgan, but not everyone. Oh! Fuck, I can't actually get out. Can I? No. Zaka, I need you to go back into the first episode of the episodes.
Oh no. Oh no,
wait.
we already gave like the one answer that they prepped you to get wrong. It's that word.
Oh, okay. Then I do hate them.
It's opening. What was the password? Stares blankly into the void, very intently.
Staring with a 1,000-yard stare into the safe/hibernation chamber. You'd never guess.
The scene in the scene in Encanto where like they're sitting at the table and like you have oh my gosh, what is her name? Main character. Oh my god, what is her name? Sitting across from Dolores, and like Dolores has this look of panic, and the main character, again, I don't know why I'm blanking on her name, Maribel. Maribel's just staring at her intently, and like Dolores is sitting there like gripping the bowl in her hands.
Yeah.
That's me in the game.
Yeah. But yes, you'd never guess. The fucking pedant. Did feel a bit out of character, David utilizing so much cloak and dagger tech. And I've definitely been struggling with the idea of him doing home improvement. But one step in here and it all makes sense. It's a panic room.
Scary.
No, not a room that induces panic. Stop. We do not need android anxiety. A panic room is a place for rich people to hide in when people start bouncing bricks off their windows.
The windows are made of glass. They don't bounce.
Yeah, well, first of all, his windows are on the 60th floor, so they need to be throwing fucking bricks out of a VTOL. And second of all, at that point, they're plexiglass because the wind pressure would actually shatter glass. They're typically not even on blueprints.
So when Noble built his penthouse for one of their executives,
Someone slipped this into the mix, and it's remained in Noble's blind spot ever since. All David had to do was repurpose it. Make sure you're capturing all of this. I don't want to miss my one chance because of a discovery technicality. Do not make me go into the intricacies of discovery.
I understand, but you needn't specify.
No, I do. There's people like Alex Jones who don't understand how discovery works, and now they're bankrupt.
My memory is flawless. I can play back visuals, sounds, sensations. I can even give detailed reports on air particles. Particulates.
You mean you can smell?
Better than any human. And some canines.
So does it smell stale in here to you?
Stale.
It doesn't to me. Almost like someone's been in here recently. Almost like someone visits here frequently. And I just noticed, because I'm too busy looking at the wording and not at the full sprites, that whenever Morgan goes into her headspace, her eyes go dead.
Mm-hmm.
She also does it mid-convo when it's like someone that doesn't interest her or she's bored by the conversation.
Thanks for letting me know that. I can now adjust my, I guess, performance. I'm not a voice actor. I just enjoy doing this game. Alright, let's try booting up to the computer.
You don't think the console is password protected?
2 physical doors, a 64-digit code, and a half-ton android, and a secret phrase? If David set a password on his PC after all that, I'm going back to the morgue and to have a word with him. With my fist.
You know what, valid? Valid?
I will literally punch him in the dick for this because of what he's putting me through. I will hope it will find him in the afterlife. I will wish an afterlife upon him. Good. It's already signed in. Oh, David, you're the gift that keeps on giving, and Morgan is just dealing with the shit that's being rained on her.
You're looking for camera footage?
I'd also sell for a note plainly stating he feared for his life. What am I doing? Here, you search for video files. They'll probably be timestamped and formatted for short-range devices.
I have the subfolder. The cameras stream live data constantly, but the files are clipped at fairly regular intervals.
I also just want to point out Runewalker here with the most real take. Morgan, I don't think God's gonna do you that solid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the game's name.
Yeah.
Once a week, it seems. The most recent video file here has footage going back 8 days. It was assessed yesterday, at around 4 p.m.
You were asleep then, so the only person who could get in here at that time is David himself. Alright, let's see it then.
Of course, it's just that I am having difficulty.
Try double-clicking.
I'm gonna yeet this entire laptop out the window. I have been trying to open the files from the moment I've discovered them. But they are encrypted.
Damn it, David. You leave me enough clues to get this far, but you won't let me use your computer! What's the brand on the encryption program? If I rush a subpoena, they might have a back door I could bluff them into.
These files were not encrypted with any commercially available tool.
Also, L Robot, who taught you to yeet? No, actually, no. Who
The
taught
internet.
you to yeet?
The internet. The internet is really, really great.
So you see, in 2025, there was this really, really bad wrestler who, and I'm just leaving that in for the rest of my friends.
This appears to be Father's own work.
Shit. If David Asher hand-wrote the encryption on these files, there's no one alive who could... Hey, was Dawes just flattering you back there? Or is your processing power really that special? Can you break his encryption, yes or no?
With enough time.
And how much time would that be?
I don't like the way you're looking at me. I would estimate it at 2 to 6 hours.
That's a 4-hour window.
No matter how sophisticated, encryption is still just a code that must be deciphered. When deciphering any code, progress proceeds exponentially, which makes it particularly difficult to determine the amount of time required to complete the process.
2 to 6 hours? I don't have any better option. Get started.
I started 4 minutes and 23 seconds ago.
Finally showing some initiative. But you've been talking to me this whole time.
I have the ability to analyze data in parallel by utilizing subconscious processes, so long as the work required is rote.
So you're doing it in the back of your head.
Actually, I'm speaking to you in the back of my head. Damn. I could give the decryption process my full, undivided attention, but I would become non-responsive.
Hey, that's a pretty nifty feature. I'll have to keep that in mind. Alright, can you take this show on the road, or do we have to rip the computer out of the wall and find a battery?
I have copied the encrypted files and will work on them as we travel. We can leave whenever you're ready.
Still can't believe David let me get this far just to shut the door in my face at the last second. But he did let me get this far. And the computer's not the only thing in here. The cabinets are a lot less eye-catching than his computer, but knowing David, that's all the more reason to check. Lots of paperwork, bonds and holdings, a platinum bar? His birth certificate? Might be nearly as valuable. Can't imagine what people would pay to steal David Asher's identity. And down here at the bottom, a binder. Noble's logo on the front, and in the middle, enough pages to dwarf one of those phone books you see in period pieces. Ow! That made me feel old. They're making it in legalese, even on the table of contents, but basically... Oh, they're masking it in legalese, even on the table of contents, but basically... This is his employment contract. Hold on to this for me.
It must be very important if you're giving it to me.
It's certainly very heavy. I was waiting for how she was going to undermine.
Was there anything else in there?
Expecting an updated copy of his will to show up?
It is a possibility, isn't it?
Maybe in a corny old murder mystery.
A widely beloved and respected genre with over 2 centuries of...
There is something else. Your papers.
That Evangeline Morgan be given immediate and complete ownership of the android designated Serra.
It's dated a few weeks back. Had he already made up his mind about all of this? If he had, why'd he hide this where no one else could find it? Was it just a backup plan? Well, at least we got something a bit more concrete than Starling's word now.
Her word should be plenty, shouldn't it?
Not if people realize how precious you are.
Is that a compliment?
As a collector's item.
Aww.
We've yet to meet one person who knows what the hell you are. But Noble could have easily argued that you fall under private technology or physical holdings. Unless I had something like this.
It's good that you do, then. I'm glad that Father wanted me to go with a friend of his.
Yeah. This will get me a huge tax write-off when I donate you for a for-profit college.
You could at least pick a charitable institution.
It's just an old saying, all colleges have been for-profit since the 60s.
Haha.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
You can cheer up in the car! Hail us a ride to the courthouse. Priority.
There's an upcharge at this hour for priority transportation.
That's irritating. But I'd like to have more than just a few minutes to prepare once we get there.
The upcharge is a multiplier of 5.7.
Oh, damn.
I'll prepare on the way over!
Very good.
Oh, I love that Morgan's immediately like, okay, I'll deal with this. You live in a society. You're right, I will work on the fly.
Does it excite you, going into courtrooms?
Now here's my one question, because we might get pulled into the actual first case of the game. How are we on time for everybody?
I'd say we could probably go until, like, the actual trial starts.
Okay, until the trial
Yeah.
starts. Okay, good place. What do you mean?
You don't feel the tension in the air as the audience murmurs along amongst themselves? You don't feel a fiery sense of justice rising in your gut as the prosecution smirks at your ragtag assembly of witnesses.
Your father really did program you the entire history of the Ace Attorney franchise, didn't he?
Look, be grateful he didn't program her with the entire history of Danganronpa.
Oh God.
You say that, but I've yet to have it proven otherwise, knowing what it's gone into the creation of this game. I should at least be happy that it apparently didn't take inspiration from 1,000-line code or whatever it's called.
Zako.
Yeah?
Zero escape.
Nah.
Yeah, no, that's the next thing probably on this channel after we finish, like, CCC.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've got that and Nonary games picked up ever since we started with AI Somnium Files, so... The bigger thing is whenever we do the switch over for covering the next Somnium game, because Zako has to stream that one.
Yeah.
Alright. Do you really think this is going to be like some kind of movie where the good guys save the day?
Probably not. Though that would be nice if it were.
Well, you're going to be very disappointed because I'm solely in the anti-hero category. Have you ever watched The Joker? What's your deal anyway? Did David train you off of a movie marathon from hell or something?
We did watch films together, if that's what you're asking. Though, he was rarely the one who suggested it.
So you were the aggressor? What's an android get out of watching a flick anyway?
What do I get?
Why do you do it? What's your reason?
I'm not sure how to answer your question.
Never mind. Forget what I was talking to. Forgot what I was talking to.
I like the performances.
Sure, there you go. Got a crush on Humphrey Bogart or something?
He's a handsome man. But it's not the actors I like so much as their performance. The truth is, besides father, I have very little experience when it comes to people.
I hadn't noticed.
I read the net, and I watch people, and what they share of their lives.
Oh God, that means she's on TikTok.
It's all so subtle, so hard to follow. There are so many unspoken rules that can't be taught, only learned, and...
The more she says this, the more I think is she wasn't on TikTok, she was on something awful.
Reddit?
For a bit, but I want to feel like she would be galvanized to go anywhere else.
I often struggle to grasp them. You're all so complex, so detailed. But the characters on screen are exaggerated, larger than life. And the actors enunciate, their body language is precise and meaningful. Their faces are bright and softly lit, and their eyes are...
Saris, I'm gonna do this just for you. Imagine if David introduced her to ballet.
Yeah. It's fiction. So these characters and their stories, they have a beginning, a middle, and end. And the people on screen don't ask anything of you except your attention. You can't disappoint them or make them feel awkward. You can just watch and learn. But what about you?
What about me?
Do you like movies?
Yeah, sure. Back when I was a kid.
Really? Who was your favorite director? What was your favorite film?
It was a long time ago.
You're literally in your 30s.
I don't remember.
You're literally in your 30s. What the fuck are you talking about?
Listen, I really like ebooks. Okay, here's the thing. Before I do a click, what movie do you think a child Evangeline Morgan would have gravitated to, cartoon or otherwise?
Oh God, what was the name of that? What was the name of that fucking film? Oh my gosh, I have seen.
I feel like Child Morgan would get some kind of weird kick out of Hello Dolly.
Hold on. What is the name? What is the name? What is the name of this?
So the part of me that has hope would say, Fox and the Hound, but the part of me that actually looks at Morgan and be like, yeah, no, she just searched a random movie and got it, and she got Silence of the Lambs.
Name of that. This is gonna kill me.
Go ahead. I mean, you can take your time and figure it out. We can wait. But I also just want to believe that Morgan's also the person who looks at Hannibal Lecter and goes, he's just like me, for real, for real. Oh, I like El Robot. The hilarious, ironic one. The brave little toaster.
Morgan would have identified with the crane.
Either that or the air conditioning.
That was also my consideration.
Though I do have to take another quick bathroom break, so I'll be back in 2 minutes.
What?
I can't find the movie that I'm looking for, but I'll tell you what, I think Sarah would really enjoy My Cousin Vinny. Man, I have the monologue like in my head. YouTube is failing me right now.
That's fine. I've got another pick now that I'm back. And I actually realized this is probably the best pick for Morgan, so I'm doubling down on it. Because it fits so much with everything Morgan is. She found a subtitled version of Rashomon.
No, I could see that.
Yeah, especially with how Morgan approaches being a public defender. Yeah, no, that's the movie she goes back to. Unfortunately, they didn't translate who directed it. The credits were all in Japanese, so I have no idea. I can't tell you director. I never looked it up. I was like 8. Though that Yoshiro Miyafune. Wood.
I think we're good.
All right.
Yep.
Things are quieter than I expected here at the courthouse. Though I've always felt courthouse is a bit of a misnomer. Government building is probably the best way to describe these towers. All-encompassing and impenetrably vague. 100 floors of officials and documents and paper pushing queues. A couple dozen courtrooms squeezed in along the way. Didn't think I'd be arguing in a courthouse when I woke up today. Didn't think that my friend would be dead, or that he'd have thrust an android onto my lap, either. Really, I hope she doesn't actually get on my lap. She weighs about a ton. I could just walk in there and concede. Emma would be irritated and more than a little confused, but I could play it off as an exercise in grief. The android would complain, loudly of course, but I wouldn't have to listen to it. Now that it's registered my name, I could probably just order the damn thing to reset its memory. But I haven't done that. And I guess I don't plan to. Why? It must be because I have my suspicions as well. Sarah insists that David would never commit suicide. I haven't actually stopped to ask myself whether or not I agree. David was rational, subdued, private, hard on himself, and not prone to emotional outbursts. So maybe that's why I'm finding myself outside a courtroom prepared to humor and add suspicion before the state. Because I don't really believe David killed himself either. What's your progress bar at?
I can confirm that I am making progress.
That's my favorite line of hers. Oh. Well, shit, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But it would be difficult to summarize that progress in terms of completion percent.
Give it your best shot anyway.
4%.
Damn.
Are you feeling confident in your case?
Markedly less so after hearing that.
Do you think the judge will be amenable to your argument?
What are you talking about?
Do you know the judge we've been assigned? Are they particularly lenient or strict?
I know this word and I hate it because it's one I'm not going to be able to say right. Adjutants
Adjutant.
are always a coin flip, so...
Hmm.
You do know what an adjutant is, don't you?
Hmm.
Are you expecting to see a bearded old man with a robe and gavel when you get in there? Again, how much Phoenix Wright did he put in your head?
Should I not?
Now this is again just for me and Zako. What do you know about the Charlie Brown adults?
Wah, 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 wah.
I'll recommend something that you will get a kick out of later, Saris, but it's also a commitment to
Sure.
a lot of Phoenix Wright.
Well, you say that like I haven't played Phoenix, right?
I know, but it's just that you've seen me react to Phoenix Wright, specifically the first case, very violently. So much so I actually had to screen cap it. I might share that in the fucking episode summary too. Adjutants are android judges, okay, with all the authority that entails.
I am surprised to hear that people are willing to accept rulings made by automated dependents.
Me too.
Rulings come from landmark cases in the higher courts. Those are passed down by actual judges, real people, with decades of study and experience. But not every eviction case or traffic ticket that ends up in court requires years of legal expertise. And remember, I just want to believe at this point where she says, and remember, just leans forward, just starts like tapping Sarah on the cheek. I'm a public defender. We're in small claims court.
Yeah, I would fully expect that actual judges would try to get it to where like all the small time like 20-minute cases get automated to hell and back so they don't have to be there.
Especially because occasionally you'll get one person in one of those small claims cases that will jump your podium and attack you. We've all seen the cases from Florida. Sometimes all you need is a referee and a sentencing algorithm.
So, androids are used to reduce caseload.
Yes, we're in the dark future where ChatGPT actually got lawyer status.
Hmm.
Been that way for decades.
But how is the law that replaced judges ever enforced? Wouldn't there be injunctions, stalling?
Judges did fight it for years, at every level, and in every theater. But the public lost their patience for that kind of obstruction during the 60s. The state needed to shred budgets across the board. And so judges that couldn't be replaced by years of legal battles were instead ushered into early retirement by the unrelenting force of our great nation's accountants.
Mm.
And it's not controversial having machines determine sentencing for human beings?
I also love El Robot in chat. You say that like it still couldn't be the case, Burnout. I mean, yes, but then you can just send them in for, like, repairs. You don't have to
I say this as a joke. I say this as a joke. Why would you wish that into existence? Why would you speak that into existence?
Oh.
Oh, Robot, I'm shaking you by the shoulders. Why would you do that to us?
El Robot is a very
Why would
simple
you do
man.
that?
He just wants his glizzy.
Oh, yeah, well.
Whatever controversy there is, it gets aimed at the machines, not the people who put them there. And the machines can't lose sleep over it. Besides, used to be that even the most high profile of crimes wouldn't get a court date until weeks or months later. Nowadays, most crimes are prosecuted within a single business week.
And that's not rushing things?
Keeps people in my line of work on their toes, that's for sure.
I'm just surprised to hear that there's so much haste.
Don't they teach you about classical conditioning in android school? You gotta feed the dog immediately after you ring the bell. If punishment doesn't follow the crime in a quick succession, the lesson doesn't stick.
I see. But if adjutants are so effective, why aren't they used in every trial? Why aren't they used in politics?
Why would you speak that into existence?
That's a logical question to ask.
Is it?
And the answer is...
That logic only gets you so far when it comes to people.
Doesn't everyone want the courts to be just as possible? Just as possible, I can talk. If adjutants are truly impartial and incorruptible.
Everyone wants justice, sure. But there are other considerations to be had.
Such as...
Disgust.
What?
That's all people really care about. What all their morals boil down to. Just what they do or don't find disgusting. Only problem is, everything's more palatable when viewed through a screen. So when everyone sees the world through AR and cameras and no one ever gets dirt under their fingernails, you'd be surprised what you can get away with.
I don't understand.
I'm about to teach you moral relativism. Yeah, well, therein lies the problem. I wanted to make again the robot Shinji joke here, but I couldn't make it work for an android. Okay. Well,
I'd
say, yeah.
Yeah, this is probably a good stopping point.
Okie dokie. Get the save. I'll throw up the BRB screen, and I'll find someone for us to raid. You tell people where they can find you. Also, according to El Robot, we're no longer on Glizzy time. Now we're on Pancake time. I think that's a punishment.
Okay.
Hooray! But, yeah, you can find me at Twitch, Blue Sky, YouTube, all at Zakoduo. It's been a rough few weeks, same as it ever was, but weather is starting to get consistent again. Work is starting to lighten up, so I do plan on getting back to regular streaming. So I keep promising it, and it keeps falling through, but it will happen, I promise. Yakuza Movie Night, watching all the cutscenes of Infinite Wealth to catch us up to where we last left off. We will be taking a look at some more Gundam card game stuff as it becomes available. We will be getting back into the 2K25 My Rise story, and we will definitely be getting back into the Death Stranding Director's Cut, because we are now less than a little over a month left until Death Stranding 2. So I want to show you all the glory before we get into that. And that's me.
Hey folks, you can find me all over the internet at Tixdixl. No stream tomorrow, but on Monday you can find me over on Skelet Alpha's channel, where we will be continuing a fandom game of Off called Home. It's been a really, really fun time. If you're a fan of like horror and like RPG makers, I highly recommend coming out and checking that out. After that, I don't exactly know what next week looks like. If there is, I don't know if there's anything after that actually.
I think next.
I don't know if there's anything after that, but if there is, we'll find out.
Those who wander.
Nope. That's not until the 25th.
I forgot that we had to take time off.
Yeah, cause Kaz is gonna be out of town, so we are resuming on the 25th. And I believe Cazador's guide isn't resuming until the 23rd, so I don't think I have anything else this week. That's me.
It's all good. You can find me here next week for Phase of Our Lives and Saved by the Spell. In one, we're going to try to kill a very powerful Fae in her home. We don't have a great record on that. We're 1 for 1. And this one's the actual powerful one, so we'll see how that goes. That said, in Those Who Want... not Those Who Wander. In Saved by the Spell, we're going to be starting a summer-long beach arc. And when I say summer-long, I mean summer-long in-game. So it's going to be much longer than the actual summer that we're currently stepping into. So prepare for that, because we're not actually vacationing in our actual setting. We are going into the role with me sitting of Marmaria. So look forward to that. That said, we're going to raid our good friend one, Wiley is Willy. I think we have a very easy stream message, and I'm just going to wait for it to tick down to the point for I to say it, but I'd say our thing is, have you heard of Green Day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, thank you all for coming out. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time, hopefully, and maybe we'll up the devil sometime soon, but thank you all for coming out. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.